New York City, you've got over 8.3 million people, 32,000 streets, and a skyline that literally defines the very idea of a global metropolis. But 400 years ago, this wasn't a forest of steel and glass. It was an island of actual forests. So how did a tiny, isolated trading post on the edge of a vast wilderness evolve into the world's most influential city? Welcome to the Explorer. Today we're going to peel back the layers of concrete to find the heartbeat of a city that has reinvented itself 1,000 times over.
8.3 million. That's the staggering number of people living in today's concrete jungle. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around, right? I mean, imagine standing right in the middle of Midtown Manhattan just a few centuries ago. You wouldn't hear the roar of yellow cabs or see a single skyscraper. Instead, you'd be standing in this dense, natural oak and hickory forest. You'd be surrounded by crystal-clear streams and marshlands just absolutely teeming with wildlife. To really understand New York, we first have to understand what it was before all that concrete was poured.
Long before the first European sail even appeared on the horizon, this place was known as Manahatta, a breathtaking landscape carved out by retreating glaciers roughly 13,000 years ago. For over 10,000 years, around 15,000 Lenape people lived here in absolute harmony with the land. They utilized the rich waterways that would eventually make this island the center of the world. Then, the Dutch show up, and this famous transaction goes down in 1626. Peter Minuit reportedly purchases Manhattan for 60 guilders, which is roughly $1,000 today. But here's the catch. These two cultures had completely incompatible views on what owning land actually meant. To the Lenape, land was a shared, temporary resource for seasonal hunting and farming. But to the Europeans, it was permanent, owned real estate to be bought and sold. That one fundamental misunderstanding set the stage for literally everything that followed.
Section 2. For the greatest harbor. So, in 1609, Henry Hudson finds the river that now bears his name, and by 1624, the Dutch West India Company establishes New Amsterdam right at the southern tip of Manhattan. They were drawn there by that incredible deep-water harbor, mostly to get in on the highly lucrative beaver fur trade. But the Dutch era? Well, it was colorful but pretty short-lived. Jump to 1664, and 4 English warships just roll into the harbor. The Dutch were heavily outgunned, and they pragmatically surrendered without firing a single shot. The English immediately renamed the colony New York. Now, aside from a brief little hiccup in 1673 when the Dutch actually took it back and called it New Orange, the Treaty of Westminster in 1674 made it permanently New York. Under British rule, commerce absolutely exploded, and it quickly became the crown jewel of North American ports.
But look, we really have to grapple with the dark truth behind all that commercial explosion. 20%. By the 1740s, enslaved African people made up an entire fifth of New York's population. Slavery was deeply, deeply embedded in the city's economy, right from its earliest Dutch days. And these enslaved individuals literally built the foundational infrastructure of the city. We're talking about clearing the roads, constructing the homes, and even building the defensive wall that gave Wall Street its name. It's an absolutely crucial piece of the city's foundation that we just cannot overlook.
What began as a quiet Lenape homeland had now become New Amsterdam, a small Dutch trading post with enormous ambitions. But the greatest transformation was still to come. Within a few years, another empire would arrive, changing the city's name and its destiny forever. That story begins in part 2.